안녕하세요. Riding on the Korean wave. Welcome to Thursday's edition of The Culture Wave. I'm Kwon So-ah in Seoul. Explore with us Korea's culture from all aspects and stay up to date with K-entertainment, K-trends, K-sports, K-everything. And we're going to do all of that together with my co-host Walter Lee. Hello, Walter. Happy Thursday for a change.
Hello, Soa. I don't get to say it very often, but happy Thursday to our viewers joining us today on the Culture Wave. I am Walter, here to fill everyone in with the latest in K-entertainment news.
Right, let's jump right into K-entertainment news today. We've got a lot to cover in the world of films today. And our first story is about legendary director Park Chan-wook. What do you have?
Yes, we do have a movie theme happening today. And starting off with the 82nd Venice International Film Festival. Now, it's regarded as one of the world's top 3 film festivals. Now, it opened on Wednesday local time. Now, among Korean films, director Park Chan-wook's No Other Choice or 어쩔 수가 없다 is the only entry selected for the main competition section, which awards the Golden Lion for Best Film. Now, this marks Park's first appearance on the Venice competition lineup since Lady Vengeance back in 2005. Now, the movie No Other Choice is adapted from American author Donald E. Westlake's novel The Axe, and it's restructured into a story about an unemployed man preparing to re-enter the workforce who ends up waging a desperate battle to protect his family. Now, the 82nd Venice International Film Festival will run until September 6th, with the awards ceremony taking place during the closing event.
One of the highly anticipated movies in the latter half of the year. And also, we're going to delve deeper into the Venice International Film Festival with our movie expert tomorrow.
Excellent.
But first off, let's talk about our next story. This will have BTS's army flocking to the movie theaters.
I think so. So South Korean cinema company Megabox, as well as cinemas across the globe, are launching what's called BTS Movie Weeks. Now, a month-long cinematic event featuring 4 of the global supergroup's live concert films. Now, the worldwide ticket pre-sale has already begun, accompanied by the release of a trailer highlighting some of BTS's most unforgettable moments on stage. Now, the program includes BTS 2016 Live, the Most Beautiful Moment in Life Stage Epilogue, BTS 2017 Live Trilogy Episode 3, The Wings Tour, The Final, BTS 2019 World Tour, Love Yourself, Speak Yourself, London, and BTS 2021 Master Soulju. And they are all monumental concerts from their career so far, so they're worth checking out. So I would advise you to visit the Weverse site for more on ticket sales and times, as well as scheduled screening dates in your area, because it is a global event.
Wow, what a lineup. Now, Walter, let's end with some good news on another Korean film, and that's also going to make an appearance at an international film festival.
That's right. It's always good news when Korean movies catch the eyes of international audiences, and one of the latest to do so is Netflix's Good News. Now, this has been invited to the special presentation section of the 50th Toronto International Film Festival. Now, the movie Good News is set in the 1970s and follows the mission to land a plane hijacked by a Japanese communist group who plan to fly it to Pyongyang. Now, the movie stars Sol Kyung-gu and is directed by Byun Song-hyun, who have actually previously worked together on the 2022 political noir film Kingmaker, which actually earned director Byun the Best Director Award at the Baeksang Arts Awards and also the Grand Bell Awards. So Good News will be released on Netflix on October 17th, so watch out for that.
All right, thank you very much, Walter, for those good news today in the world of K-Enter, and stick around.
Will do.
And now let's go over to our AI anchor, Ari, for more on the culture front. Ari, take it away.
Hello and welcome to your AI guide to the latest cultural updates from Korea. Here's our top story. APAC member economies held their first ever high-level dialogue on cultural and creative industries this week in Gyeongju. In a joint statement, they underscored the economic value of the cultural sector and pledged to foster innovation in creating and distributing related content through digital and AI technologies. Members also agreed to continue regional dialogue in the field. Culture Minister Choi Ryong hailed the elevation of culture as a core APAC agenda and the opportunity to showcase Korea's cultural strengths as major achievements of the inaugural gathering. Exhibitions exploring various transformations of inkwash painting will open this weekend in Jeollanam-do Province. Inkwash painting is a traditional East Asian art form that uses varying shades of black ink on absorbent surfaces. The Jeonnam International Sumuk Biennale will be held from Saturday through October 31st, under the theme Somewhere Over the Yellow Sea, spanning venues in Mokpo, Jingdo, and Haenam. Over 80 teams from 20 countries are set to showcase a wide range of works that offer fresh interpretations of inkwash painting beyond the use of traditional black ink. Biennale director Yoon Jae-gak, noting that most biennales worldwide remain under the influence of Western art, voiced hopes that the exhibitions would take the lead in advancing K-art on the global stage. Also on Saturday, the 2025 Tour de DMZ International Road Cycling Tour will take place in Gosongwon County, Gangwon-do Province. Launched in 2016, the cycling race is an annual international event held along the demilitarized zone dividing the two Koreas. More than 1,000 cyclists are expected to compete this year, along long-distance and medium-distance routes stretching 93 kilometers and 64 kilometers, respectively. This year's race includes sections along the civilian control line, where bicycle traffic is normally restricted. Organizers describe the race as a symbolic event promoting peace on the Korean peninsula, expressing hopes it will also support balanced development in border areas and boost the local economy. That's all from me. Stay tuned to the Culture Wave.
A royal ritual reimagined on stage, ilmu, or one dance, blends tradition with modern artistry. The Seoul Metropolitan Dance Theater's striking performance is drawing full houses and preparing to tour beyond the capital. Our news features reporter Byun Ye-young tells us more.
Dancers in perfect unison, creating geometric shapes that expand, contract, vanish, then reappear. Ilmu, meaning one dance, is a modern take on the ancestral rites once performed for Joseon Dynasty kings and queens at Jongmyo Shrine. It's presented by the Seoul Metropolitan Dance Theater, reimagining Jongmyo Jaereak, a UNESCO intangible cultural heritage.
It's a piece built on the idea of setting aside the individual, placing oneself within order, and joining a unified dance with the hope that everything will come together in harmony.
This year marks its fourth run, following 3 successful seasons and sold-out shows at New York's Lincoln Center in 2023. The performance opens with the traditional ilmu dance, shifts into contemporary dance, and concludes with a modern fusion that blends the two. What never changes are the principles of unison and multiplication. Dancers move together like a single breathing organism.
Even though our dancers are from different age groups, we move and even breathe together. What seems simple on stage actually takes a lot of work and focus. So I hope the audience can feel the effort and energy we put into that harmony.
Every movement, down to the angle of the fingers, is intentional, as is the use of silence. At times, the only sounds are the slight rustle of fabric and the dancer's near-silent footsteps. The stage design is deliberately minimal, creating contrast with bold costumes inspired by 오방색, the 5 traditional colors of Korea. The beauty of emptiness and restraint is also what director Jung-woo wanted to highlight in the performance.
The stage often opens up a white space at the center as props and dancers gather, scatter, empty out, and regroup. We explored choreography that reflects this constant flow, pursuing the beauty of emptiness. The stage itself was also designed to highlight that sense of space.
The 4-day run in Seoul ended with every seat sold out. Next, one dance will travel to Gangneung City and Daegu City to share its vision of tradition and modernity. Byun Ye-young, Arirang News.
From South Korean football star Son Heung-min's first goal since his transfer from Tottenham Hotspur to Los Angeles FC, to a K-pop star on the baseball field, and a highly anticipated visit by a foreign football team here in Korea. Now, we have all the exciting highlights from the world of K-sports with our sportscaster Jason Lee joining us in the studio. Hello, Jason.
Hello, Jason.
Hello.
So, Son Heung-min. Last time we talked about him, it was when he made that transfer to the Major League Soccer, and now he's already making a huge impact with his debut goal. So, please tell us about that first goal and also his play so far.
Yeah, he has been fantastic so far. Of course, this week he did score his first goal indeed. It was a beautiful free kick from just outside the penalty box to give LAFC an early 1-0 lead against FC Dallas. Now, unfortunately, LAFC would concede a goal shortly after that, and the game ended up being a 1-1 draw in the end. But I've got to say, Son Heung-min has looked impressive in the 3 games that I've seen him playing so far. Of course, he earned his team a penalty shot in the first game against Chicago. He also assisted on a goal in a 2-0 win over the New England Revolution. So, you know, it was really one of those assists in particular in that game that he probably could have just scored the goal himself. But, you know, he made the more unselfish pass to ensure the goal would be scored rather than having a good chance to score the goal himself. So it just kind of shows what kind of player that he is. Very unselfish, looking for the best result for his team. So far, 3 games, 3 different ways that he's contributed, and he's really becoming one of the most popular athletes in Los Angeles already. And in fact, just a few hours ago this morning Korean time, or we could say in the evening in Los Angeles, he threw out the first pitch at Dodger Stadium as the LA Dodgers were hosting the Cincinnati Reds.
Right.
Right, and they are actually doing much better than their rivals LA Galaxy. They're currently sitting 5th on the West Coast region. And to be honest with you, it's actually a shame that Son didn't get more free kicks during his 10 years at Spurs, because during that time, Kane or Eriksson was the main free kicker. He actually only scored 1 goal as a free kicker.
As a penalty kicker.
Yeah, as a
free kicker too.
Yeah,
right.
a free kicker at Spurs. That was in, I believe, against Watford in the 2021-2022 season, around there. But he has scored 6 for the national team. So hopefully he gets more free kicks or chances for free kicks at the LAFC, where he's able to do more and be more versatile than what he was at Spurs. But talking more about that, the pitch at the Dodgers Stadium. Earlier this week, we did talk a little bit about this superstar being V from BTS, throwing the first pitch as well. What were your thoughts about that, seeing a K-pop star getting the chance to throw a first pitch at one of the biggest stadiums, Dodger Stadium, in America, the US? Yeah,
without a doubt. Certainly, anytime you have any Korean star throwing out the first pitch at Dodger Stadium, you know that, first off, they're going to receive very warm welcome. And certainly V of BTS, he threw out the first pitch when the Dodgers hosted the Cincinnati Reds on Monday, their time. That would have been Tuesday morning in Korea. And, I was watching a little bit of this, and I didn't actually realize that V was actually a lefty. He's a left-hander. So he wore number 7 with his Dodgers uniform that they gave to him. And I was wondering, is 7 his favorite number? Did he wear 7 because there's 7 members of BTS, maybe, or something like that?
Maybe he's a fan of Son Heung-min.
Son Heung-min? Oh, yeah, it could have been. I mean, he would have known that Son Heung-min was throwing out the first pitch 2 days later. So, yeah, that could have been something as well. And also, before the game, V was spotted chatting things up with Shohei Ohtani as well. So certainly, I think a thrill for both of them. Shohei gets to talk with V. V gets to talk with Shohei as well. So I think a great opportunity for everyone involved. And also for the Dodgers, they get to sell some extra tickets to BTS fans wanting to get an in-person look at V. So I'm sure a lot of people were thrilled that got to go in there and get an in-person look at him rather than just seeing on TV or on videos. One last thing I do want to mention about the Dodgers, though, is that Kim Il-sung has been on the injury list for about the last month with a shoulder injury. He has recently started a rehab assignment in AAA, so hopefully he'll be back with the Dodgers pretty soon. I think he's played 6 games up until this morning. He's hitting .273 over those 6 games, so maybe he'll be ready to join the team in a game or 2, hopefully.
Let's wish the best. And actually, I have also been wondering about that 7 that V was wearing. And actually, if I'm correct, the game actually ended 7-0 for the Dodgers.
Yeah,
so maybe that was a kind of a forecast he made.
He's a prognosticator.
Maybe. But Jason, let's fly over to Korea now and baseball here. The KBO has become so popular that the attendance has surpassed 10 million in the shortest span ever, even breaking last year's record.
Yeah.
So, yeah, tell us about the record-breaking season.
How about that? And I mean, I've got to say that, you know, so many crazy things have gone on with the KBO in recent seasons. And I think what's really special is I think a lot of people thought that losing star players like Lee Jung-hoo, Kim Il-sung, Kim Ha-sung recently to Major League Baseball would have, you know, dropped attendance because you're losing your biggest stars to Major League Baseball. You would think that the attendance figures would have gone down. But despite the fact, you know, losing some of the biggest stars being departed over to Major League Baseball, they have been as strong as ever in terms of attendance. And as you mentioned, last season, the KBO broke attendance records, surpassing 10 million fans in doing so after 671 games, while this year they reached the milestone in just 587 games. So it's looking more and more like they should be able to set an all-time attendance record. 10.9, just under 10.9 mil from last season is the record. And I think there's a good chance that they break 11 million, and who knows how much further they go on the way things are going. The only downside that I would say is, and I'm not saying that there's no official news or word of this. This is just my rationale thinking is, you know, you think that the league, there's a good chance that it's becoming this popular, this many sellouts, then it's only natural that ticket prices should probably go up. I think it's the most logical thing to happen. Again, I'm not saying that it should or I want this to happen. It just makes sense that they're having so many sellouts this year. And it's not just one club. I think like 6 or 7 clubs are breaking their own attendance records as well. So it's a league-wide thing. Don't be surprised if ticket prices go up just because attendance is so strong.
Uh-oh, I've seen a number of times when, Jason, you mentioned something on air and made some predictions and it came true.
It seems to happen, yeah.
Let's hope those ticket prices actually are more like invested in the expansion of stadiums rather than just seeing like the ticket prices just go up for investors' point of view.
A better experience overall for everyone, ideally.
Exactly, exactly. And though domestically tickets are selling out like hotcakes, there is another event coming up that is being finalized, and that is the Korea versus Brazil. That's actually something that is now being confirmed. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah, talk about a hot ticket or a ticket that's tough to get. That might even be expensive. October the 10th, mark it on your calendar. It's the first time Brazil is visiting Korea in 3 years. And of course, come on, Brazil, always one of the most popular soccer teams that everybody wants to see. That game will take place at Seoul's World Cup Stadium in Sangam at 8 p.m. And just 4 days later, on the 14th, Korea will host Paraguay as well. That game had actually already been announced, but it's now confirmed that that game will also be played at the Seoul World Cup Stadium. And we have 2 games that Korea is going to be hosting. Meanwhile, they do have a couple of games that they're going to play before that, as they have their friendlies in the U.S. that on September the 7th, just a couple of weeks away. And they also play in Mexico 3 days after that on September the 10th. Those games should be a good opportunity to get the feel of the field conditions in both the U.S. and Mexico, as of course they're going to be hosting the World Cup next summer along with Canada. So certainly a couple of strategic friendlies that the KFA and Heung-min has planned out to go over to North America. And they're going to have some really good competition when they host Brazil and Paraguay.
Looking forward to those games. And speaking of the World Cup, in preparations for those games in North America, head coach Heung-min has made a very unique decision. He's got a new person in his team, and it's a person who's of mixed heritage and was born outside of Korea, a country that I'm very familiar of. So tell us about this player and his significance.
Certainly. I guess you'll be able to pronounce his name better than me as well in German. Of course, you're talking about Jens Kastrop, who is half German. He was born in Dusseldorf in 2003 to a German father, while his mother is Korean. So he has dual citizenship, German and Korean. At the youth level, he's represented Germany, but he recently switched his loyalty to Korea. And once he does play his first game for the senior team, he actually won't be able to represent Germany once again. So this is a very big decision for him to make. And in terms of his style of play, he's kind of a defensive midfielder. He's very rugged. He's a ferocious defender. I think if you remember watching Kim Na-mil in the 2002 World Cup, I think that's the best Korean comparison I can make of his style of play. Like, he's an attacker that's going to really intimidate people and make them think twice about dancing with the ball through the middle of the field.
Looking very much forward to his play, and we'll keep an eye on his play. And thank you for keeping an eye on all the sports issues. We're going to add something, Jason?
No, I was just going to say, I'm actually really hoping, because he's on the roster so far, but we don't know yet what the starting lineup's going to be for the games in the U.S. and Mexico. So I'm just hoping that he actually gets some playing time, because I'd really like to see how he fits into the whole chemistry of the team going forward. Because it is a new person. It's his first time ever playing for Korea. So I'm actually really excited to have a look at him.
Same here. Well, thank you very much, Jason, for those updates, and see you next time.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Jason.
And thank you, Walter, as always. So we're going to see you back here next week.
See you next week.
Thank you for spending the past half an hour with us on the Culture Wave. And please join us again tomorrow on Friday at 2 p.m. Korea time, and maybe one day here in Korea.